On July 1st, 2011, something extraordinary happened on this campus. Now, I know you all are assuming that's because we got a new president on that day, and that was pretty exciting. But no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the day that Mary Lynn Capilouto became part of the UK family. You see, when we got the new president, we also got someone we lovingly call Mrs. Dr. Capilouto. Now, Dr. Capilouto is very highly successful in her own right as an academic. She holds the rank of Dean Emeritus of the University of Alabama School of Dentistry at Birmingham. In addition to her doctoral degree in dentistry, Dr. Capilouto also holds a Master of Science degree in epidemiology from the Harvard School of Public Health. So she is quite extraordinary in her own right. And over almost a year now, as she has been on UK's campus, she has already made her name known here as a great part of our family and a great contributor. I'm particularly grateful that among all of the things that she has become involved in since coming to UK, the issue of domestic violence has become one of those. Now, while she was still in Birmingham, she led a women's foundation that supported domestic violence causes. She has been actively involved with First Lady Jane Bashir in the Shop and Share program, and she has become a great supporter of the Center for Research on Violence Against Women as well. And we're very, very grateful for all of that. We're grateful to have her as part of the UK family, and we're particularly grateful to have her here with us this morning as we get ready to launch an exciting announcement. So it's my great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Mary Lynn Capilouto.
Thank you, Carol. Those remarks were far more gracious than I deserve, so I wish my mother had been here to hear all that. And I'm particularly grateful to be here with you all because I was fearful I was going to miss it, so thank you very much. Flagship land-grant institutions have unique resources to bring to bear on issues. And we also have unique responsibilities to the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky and to the students we educate. And that's why I'm particularly proud and happy to be a part of this announcement, because our capabilities as a university are aligned so beautifully with our unique mission of service. One of the most significant issues confronting Kentucky and the nation is violence against women. And at UK, we're addressing this issue, this problem, this insidious challenge with a thorough, multifaceted, comprehensive approach. In 2003, we brought our research capacity and mission to this problem, and we created the Center for Research on Violence Against Women. And since its founding under Carol Jordan's leadership, this center has secured almost $4 million in research grant support and has built a $5.5 million research endowment program to support endowed chairs and professorships. That is truly remarkable. And through this center's efforts, we have established a national reputation, and we are leading the nation in advancing research on domestic violence in new and unique ways. We also have changed how the University of Kentucky understands and responds to women students who have been victimized. In a study that was done in a very transparent and comprehensive manner in 2004 and again in 2007, the university conducted a women's safety study. And in that study, the university was able to really learn the exact nature and the size of the problem of dating, violence, and rape. And most importantly, the university's been able to improve its students in need of services related to this issue. And one such example of the innovative services we're offering is through the Division of Student Affairs. It is called a Violence Intervention and Prevention Center. And here in this center, students are exposed to a highly regarded Green Dot program. And what I think is of special significance is that researchers involved with this program are finding a unique method by which they can prevent violence against women. But today we're acknowledging that there is so much more to do outside our institution and in the community. And today, with a special corporate partner in Verizon Wireless, we are embarking on an initiative that perhaps is unique in the nation. We are opening the door for opportunity to women who have been victimized, and that opportunity, that door, is the door to education. And in so doing, we honor what Eli often calls the UK promise. And this was an idea that nearly 150 years ago was brought to bear, where the university forged a covenant with the people of Kentucky. And we promised that we would be like the path to a promising future for people by giving them the opportunity of education. And this announcement keeps that promise alive. So on behalf of Eli and UK, I want to thank Verizon Wireless and everyone involved with making this initiative become a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Capilouto. You know, my career in the field of violence against women is almost 30 years now in length. About 20 of those years I spent at the state level in policy and legislative advocacy. For the past 8 years, I have been here heading up the center. But, you know, as I look back on what was most formative in my career, I think of the first 3 years. Because the first 3 years out of graduate school, I spent heading up the counseling and outreach program in a battered women's shelter. See, there I think I learned the most formative lessons I needed to guide the rest of my career. There I began to learn the lessons that you really need if you're going to work in this field, if you're going to understand the experiences of battered women. Any of us who work in this field have been asked at least 50,000 times, why do women stay in abusive homes? Well, I think I'm going to take just a couple of the lessons that I learned from women themselves and share at least one of those with you today in answer to that question. You see, women at a very practical level cannot flee because they don't have the financial means to do so. What would they live on? Where would they live? How would they pay for daycare? How would they pay for food? What about clothing? What about medical costs for their kids? You see, we find domestic violence in every economic sector in our community, upper income to lower income. But research also shows us that women who live in poverty are at increased risk of victimization. Specifically, the National Crime Victimization Survey found an intimate partner violence rate 5 times higher for women in the lowest earning households. We also know that women who live in violence frequently have their employment interrupted, if they're even allowed to work at all, by abusive husbands. When they try to flee violence as a result, they don't have a robust bank account to help them, nor do they have a strong work history that will help them secure a well-paying job. They are, in effect, trapped. They can choose to stay in violence, but at least their children are fed, or they can flee and expose their children to the great risks associated with poverty. And one more research study of concern, a study that found women who left a domestic violence shelter after staying there because they were in need of protection. The women who had the fewest financial resources were the women who were most likely to be re-abused. So why do women stay? Well, a lack of financial resources is at least part of the answer to that question. And what can we now do about that? Well, Dr. Capilouto spoke beautifully about the missions of our university, about research and education and public service. And we come together today to announce the most significant public service effort of the center's history. It is a firm answer to the question, what can we do about it? The answer is found in a new program the center has designed, the Women's Empowerment Scholarship Program. The program is designed very specifically to provide scholarships for women to attend the University of Kentucky. It is designed to give women freedom and nonviolence using the pathway of education. The idea of the Women's Empowerment Scholarship is a grand partnership. First, within UK, our partnership involves the center and the Office of the Registrar. without whom I can assure you this idea never would have come to fruition. Further evidence of that, we have right behind the light where I really can't actually see them, but we have Don Witt here. Don is the UK registrar himself and vice provost for enrollment management, and I cannot say enough about the support that he personally has given to making this scholarship program come to life. And with him around somewhere else in the dark, over there to me dark because there's so many lights, is Linda George. Linda is the Director of Financial Aid for all of UK, and she too has made this a personal project, and both of them have just been extraordinarily helpful. What they bring to this partnership, in addition to the stipend that would come from the center, will be other financial aid and scholarships. In other words, they're going to give us the opportunity to build the best financial aid package for the recipient of the Women's Empowerment Scholarship, so that they are going to be able to enter the university, and with the addition of academic advisors, they will also be able to succeed academically once they are here. Our partnership extends off campus as well to the Bluegrass Domestic Violence Program, because we know that when women arrive here, they may well still have protection and advocacy needs related to the domestic violence program. So Darlene Thomas is going to assist us with that, as will our own Melanie Matson, who is here from the Violence Intervention and Prevention Program. I think it is this extensive partnership of university and advocacy that will make this project unique in the nation, the most robust scholarship program for battered women that we have ever seen. Now, of course, an idea is just that. We would have had to stop there. We could have just canceled the rest of the press conference and let you walk away and be marveled at my great ideas. It would have meant nothing if we didn't have yet one more partner, and thank goodness we do. And that one more extraordinary partner is Verizon Wireless. Now, the partnership between the center and Verizon Wireless started, I want to say, about 20 years ago. At least my partnership with Verizon Wireless did. They have been committed to ending violence against women in this nation for many, many years. And I have also found them to be a company that is innovation savvy. I just made that up, but it sounds right. Because they love innovation and they love contributing innovation to making the right kinds of things happen. And they're certainly doing that in the domestic violence arena. It's quite an honor for me to introduce to you the woman who personifies our partnership with Verizon Wireless, Michelle Gilbert, who is the Public Relations Manager with Verizon Wireless.
Okay. Thank you. So this clearly isn't the first time that Verizon Wireless and UK have partnered, and I don't anticipate that it's anywhere near the last time. But for today, what we're very pleased to announce is that Verizon Wireless is giving the University of Kentucky a $100,000 endowment gift for this very special scholarship. And this is a very particularly meaningful gift that we're giving for a couple of different reasons. First of all, it is an endowment gift. So anyone who knows anything about an endowment, it leaves a legacy, really, for many years to come, long after I'm retired and you're retired, and even after my children graduate from college. This gift is going to keep on giving, and we're going to continue to be sending women who have been impacted by domestic violence to college so that we can help get them out of that abusive cycle. So for me, that's very meaningful to know that we're truly leaving a legacy here throughout the great state of Kentucky. It also really exemplifies the tremendous value of collaborating together. I've always said that government can't do it alone, nonprofits can't do it alone, and corporations can't do it alone. It really truly means all of us coming together to fight this cause. What I think parlays very nicely that you should know is that this entire $100,000 gift was given from our Hope Line program. For anyone who doesn't know what our Hope Line program, in essence, and this picture over here represents it, we collect no longer used wireless phones. They can be from any service provider. They can be in any condition whatsoever. we take the proceeds from the program, 100% of the proceeds from the program, and we turn it into grants such as this one. So this picture to my right, or to Darlene's right, actually represents just under 31,000 phones that have been collected. And this gift really is not just Verizon Wireless giving, but it's people across Lexington, it's people across all of Kentucky, and it's really people across all of the country who have cleaned out their old drawers and done something good with the devices that they're no longer using. So really, this thank you isn't just to Verizon. This thank you goes out to every single person who's ever donated a phone to Verizon's Hopeline program, because you are also leaving a legacy here today. And I think that really demonstrates the community coming together. So thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. I think the woman in the room who has the best perspective on how this scholarship might be of help to battered women is the woman at the end of the table here. Darlene Thomas is Executive Director of the Bluegrass Domestic Violence Program, also a longstanding partner of this center's, and it's my pleasure to introduce her to you now.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here today. I have to tell you, I go through a lot of phones, and I always donate them, if you only knew how many phones. And I've been around for a little while in this work, not quite as long as Carol, who has been a mentor and a teacher and always a supporter of not just me personally, but of this movement statewide. So it's always an honor to be a part of any vision that Carol brings to the table, because it's inclusive and it includes partners. But the impact for what this means for families. You know, many years ago when we started this work, it was about safety. You know, we built shelters and we provided safety, and we worked with law enforcement, and we worked with our legislators, and we created change, and we created new laws, and we try to wrap ourselves around survivors and their children so that there were new choices and new options available to them. And what we found, although all those things are extremely important and continue to be important today, the piece that was missing for so many, especially those who had gone through shelter that had the most barriers that they were facing, was this sense of that asset, this piece of them that could be an asset for the rest of their lives, for them and their children. And one huge thing that we've been working with our state coalition in Central Kentucky is how do we begin to help families build those assets? What do they need to sustain a future of moving out of poverty and creating a new life? And one of those assets, and the way to build assets, is education. Because children who are raised with families who have education become educated. And so we have to make strides for those that have the most barriers to have access to that education, because we're not only changing it for this generation, but for future generations as well. And to be a part of the University of Kentucky in many partnerships that they come to our organization with, to be able to afford this opportunity possibly for a family coming through shelter to have access to education, hopefully at no cost. We're a partner in that as well, because we do asset building programs. So we can work with families who may apply for scholarship. We can work with them and help them save money, and then maybe match their money 2-to-1 that can go towards the scholarship. Be a part of this community of folks who believe in the future of families, especially those who have been affected by domestic violence and sexual assault. I think this is an amazing partnership. Verizon has always been at the table since I've been around, and Michelle is always looking for creative ways to be involved in this legacy of endowment and the future of battered women and their children. Thank you, Carol. It's a beautiful idea. And Dr. Capilouto, welcome to Lexington. You have just come in full force, and we're very proud to be a part of this program. And anything we can do to assist, we will. Thank you.
Thank you.